So we continue to the news.
A pleasant good morning from outside Liberia's capital. Welcome to Focus News Summary. 15 minutes of news presentations covering Liberia, Africa, and our warm world. My name is Lyndon Talk by anchoring this segment of news presentation. In the headlines, President Bwaikai forms typhoons amid U.S. travel ban concern. Bone County Representative Women Brick Menza descends on President Bwaikai executive order, says it is affecting access to basic financial services. President Bwaikai defends his use of private jets for foreign travel, asserting that the decision is based on priority rather than waste. Prime suspect in the Capitol building Assam case, John Yanti, take him to court, accuses government of inducement, and away from whom Trump administration demands action from 36 country to avoid travel ban. These and many more are all packaged. We're taking a short break. When we come back, we bring you the news bulletin. Welcome back and thanks for joining us. President Joseph Boakai has established a high-level task force to address U.S. government concern that could trigger potential travel restrictions on Liberia. It can be recalled that the Trump administration had issued an ultimatum instructing 36 countries to introduce stronger diplomatic action or raise visa restriction. According to the U.S. concern, President Boakai, as chair of the task force, has initiated efforts with ministries and security institutions aimed at identifying challenges and devising actionable solutions. The task force is further tasked with the responsibility of creating swift diplomatic reform that aligns with the United States goal, which seeks to mitigate growing concerns of illegal migrants. President Boakai emphasized Liberia's commitment to good governance aimed at fostering shared diplomatic values while expressing confidence that the task force will yield the needed results. Representative Women Brief Menza have criticized President Boakai's executive order, which demand the usage of national ID card for official transaction of business, asserting that it is still in progress to basic financial services. In a communication to the House plenary, Representative Menza alarmed over the alleged persistent delayed experience by most people in obtaining the ID card, something she described as embarrassing. In response, Planner has summoned officials of the National Identification Registry. The move is aimed at providing a clear plan for improving service delivery and the issuance of national identification cards to citizens across the country. The invite comes on the heel by concern raised by Bone County District's Representative Women Bree Menza over reported persistent delayed in processing the ID card despite applicants completing full registration. President Joseph Boakai has strongly defended the use of private jet for foreign travel, asserting that the decision is based on fundamental rather than waste. President Boakai clarified that the usage of private jet for essential purpose does not amount to wasteful spending. In an interview with BBC Newsday, the chief Liberian executive argued that such choices are made in the interest of the country and do not contradict his administration's uncompromising stance against waste. The report from the BBC asserted that President Boakai, who assumed office in 2024 after defeating incumbent George Weah campaign on the platform of transparency and accountability and good governance. A key message during his campaign was a strong stance against corruption, which is accused the previous government of failing to curb. One of the prime suspects in the Capitol building case has been arrested and sent to prison. Suspect John Yanti, upon his arrest, was escorted by heavy security guards from the Liberian National Police to the court. Authorities confirmed that he has since been on the run after allegedly committing the crime. Yanti has been accused as the key facilitator who allegedly received the money from Montserrado County District 16 lawmaker Dixon Siebel and had it distributed among his co-conspirators. Meanwhile, in a brief interview with OKFM, Yanti accused the Liberian government of trying to bribe him in order to testify for the state in the overly hyped Capitol building fire incident. President Joseph Boakai has departed Liberia for Nigeria to attend the 2025 West Africa Economic Summit, focusing on regional trade and investment. He traveled via Escar Airline on Tuesday, June 19, and is expected to return Monday, June 23, following key summits, engagements, and bilateral meetings. The summit gathers West African leaders, innovators, and policy makers geared towards promoting economic growth, job creations, among others. President Boakai is expected to spotlight Liberia's investment opportunities and hold strategic talks with heads of states and business leaders to strengthen partnership and attract development finance. The event promised by ECOWAS Chairperson Bola Tinubu includes a high-level discussion aimed at addressing peace, development, and economic integration. Former presidential candidate Alexander Kumi has weighed in on President Boakai's controversial use of private jet for foreign travel. His assertion comes barely a few hours following President Boakai open defense on the usage of private jets. But in a Facebook post, Kumi expressed deep concern over the growing public frustration, emphasizing the need for Boakai's administration to prioritize results over optic perception. Cummings rejected President Boakai's defense, adding, while private jets are necessary for expediency, it is unnecessary due to the current economic hardship faced by Liberians. He further emphasized that the growing frustration is barely due to the government performance, while urging Liberians to judge leadership by impact, not transportation choices. The Ministry of Education and the Liberian National Police have banned all street parades associated with school gala data across Liberia. According to a release, the joint initiative stemmed from growing concern over student safety, public disturbance, and repeated violations of the ministry directive. That institution argued that the parades over the year have proven chaotic, leading to injuries of minors and those threatening public order. MOE and LMP clarified that this ban does not extend to celebratory activity organized by school, highlighting the use of sport pages and other venue preventing traffic hazard or disorderly conduct, citing Article 15 and Section 17.3 of the Penal Law of Liberia. The institution emphasized that the move coincides with Liberia Education Reform Act of 2011, while the Ministry of Education and the Liberian National Police has pledged to deploy officers to monitor and prevent street parades, warning that violators will be held accountable in accordance with the national law. Civil Service Agency Director Josiah Joka has revealed that over 3,000 Liberians Indian nationals are currently employed by Excellent Method in roles that could be performed by qualified Liberians. Speaking at the Liberian Senate, Joka linked the unemployment crisis to the continuous hiring of foreigners in non-specialized roles by multinational companies operating in Liberia. His assertion comes on the heels of ongoing investigation by the Liberian Senate surrounding the issuance of work permits to Liberians. The CSA boss has pledged his institution commitment and cooperation with the Ministry of Labor aimed at addressing the influx of foreigners in the private sector, thereby creating a level playing field for all. This is a reminder that you are listening to Focus News Summary, 15 minutes of news presentations covering Liberia, Africa, and our one world. Let's take a quick look at our top stories we are following this morning. President Joseph Boakai forms task force amid U.S. travel ban concern. Bone County Representative Women Breed Mensah dissents on President Bouakai executive order, says it is affecting access to basic financial services. President Bouakai defends his use of private jet for foreign travel, asserting that the decision is based on priority rather than waste. Prime suspect in the Capitol building arson case, John Yanti, taken to court, accuses government of inducement and away from whom Trump administration demands action from 36 countries to avoid travel ban. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we bring to you a continuation of our news development. Welcome back and thanks for joining us on this presentation. In a related development, the Liberian Senate is expected to conduct a major employment audit at the ArcelorMittal facility. The move seeks to ascertain the employment practices of the company, ensuring that it corresponds with Liberia's labor law. The First Lady of Liberia, Katuman Bouakai, delivered a rousing speech at the 7th Murray Foundation First Lady Initiative Summit, stressing Liberia's healthcare education gains. She highlighted that 50 Liberian doctors have received specialized training from Meg Foundation scholarship, advancing skills in fertility, oncology, diabetes management, and pediatric medicine. Madam Bouakai underscores Liberia's success on the Modern Memorial campaign, emphasizing on combating infertility stigma, gender-based violence, child marriage, as well as promoting inclusive advocacy. The Liberian First Lady emphasized the impact of educating Linda program, an initiative that provides scholarship for marginalized girls through long-term empowerment, including the provision of learning tools. Madam Bouakai reaffirmed Liberia's commitment to transformative leadership in health equity, gender inclusion, and sustainable development across Africa and beyond. Liberia National Bite Association President Councillor Bondo Vaman has been named as acting president of the West African Bite Association following the sudden resignation of Usman Buba Tuareg. Tuareg's brief leadership was marked by regional cooperation and aimed at defending democracy and the rule of law. Councillor Vaman lauded Tuareg for advancing judicial independence and human rights across the West African region. Upon assuming office, Vaman pledged his commitment to strengthening regional legal collaborations and governance. In an exclusive interview with OKFN in Monrovia, Vaman described his appointment as a victory not only for Liberia's legal community, but for the entire country. The LNBA president emphasized that this position demonstrates Liberia's emergence to the regional spotlight. Documents obtained from the Environmental Protection Agency, including the Comprehensive Environmental Social Assessment Impact, has strongly disproved Senator Tywin's claim against ArcelorMittal new dedicated projects in Nima County. It can be recalled Senator Tywin's lodged a formal complaint against ArcelorMittal Liberia before the Liberian Senate, alleging breach of EPA regulation in the construction of the iron ore concentrator. According to the ESED report done by the international consultant, AMO auditing highlighted key environmental measures of the social and safety measures of the project. According to the findings, EPA approved and renewed permits based on 21 detailed reports, including air quality tests, biodiversity assessment, resettlement action framework confirming resettlement action framework confirming no displacement occurred. Two members of the Honorable House of Representatives are participating in the African Group of Negotiators meeting held in Germany. The delegation include Anthony Williams and Emmanuel Dam alongside Jedi Aman, Deputy Ministers for Legal Affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and a team from the Environmental Protection Agency. The Tuesday meeting witnessed Liberia's lawmakers actively engaged in policy dialogues, leveraging the legislative oversight and ensuring the nation's priorities are met on an Africa unified climate agenda. The move underscores Liberia's commitment to climate diplomacy as a position the country to advocate for access to clean energy solution for vulnerable communities. The Ministry of Gender has removed children from Hazadia rock crushing site in Dwazon following a powerful front page Africa report that exposed their exploitation. In response to the publication, the ministry team swiftly intervened, halted the labor, met with parents, and launched an emergency child support plan. The rescue plan includes scholarship for the 2025-2026 school year, small grants to parents, and continuous monitoring on the Street Child Project. Official warned Parent Against Child Exploitation, citing Liberia's protection law and vowing legal actions for future violations. Community leaders and single mother praised the media role, calling the government quick response a hopeful turning point for the children's future. President Joseph Boakai has with immediate effect suspended Abdullah Kamara from his position as acting chairman of the Board of Commissioners of the Liberia Telecommunications Authority. The release indicates that President Boakai's decision followed a report from the General Auditing Commission highlighting serious allegations of corruption and financial mismanagement. They found him linked Kamara to grave financial misconduct while serving as Chief Executive Officer of Time Corporation, especially in transactions involving public funds. In his letter addressed to Kamara, the Liberian chief executive emphasized that the suspension reflects his government commitment to transparency and accountability, adding that this decision goes without paid. The Liberian National Police have launched a criminal investigation into allegations involving MP and Managing Director Sekou Dukley and the Chinese investor Zhen Den. Zhen lawyer alleged Dukley solicited funds for joint venture, including a water plant and mining company, but diverted large sum for personal luxury spending. They further claim Yan paid for Dukley's China trip, business class travel, Rolex watches, and real estate renovation while receiving nothing in return from the partnership. In response, Dukley denied wrongdoing, accusing Zhen of masterminding the scam to defraud Chinese investors by selling fake equity in a company he didn't fully own. Police have since confirmed that the case is under investigation, as both parties filed complaints, leaving a squad of conflicting accusations and court battle in progress. And the U.S. administration, the U.S. government has given 36 countries, most of them in Africa, a Wednesday deadline to commit to improve vetting of travel or face a ban on the citizens visiting the United States. A weekend diplomatic cable sent by the State Department instruct embassies and consulates in the 36 countries to gauge their host country willingness by Wednesday to improve their citizens' travel documentation and take steps to address the status of their nationals who are residing in the United States illegally. The cable, which was described to the Associated Press as a country to take action to address the U.S. concern, with insisted they always been added to the current travel ban. Now, to end this news, we recap all of the major stories we have been following very closely on this news segment. President Boakai forms presidential task force amid U.S. travel ban concern. Bone County Representative Wyman Briggs Mensa dissents on President Joseph Boakai's executive order, says it is affecting access to financial services. President Boakai defends his use of private jets for foreign travel, asserting that the decision is based on priority rather than waste. Prime suspect in the Capitol building Assam case, John Yanti, taken to court, accuses government of inducement, and away from whom Trump administration demands action from 36 countries to avoid travel ban. This is Spoken News Summary. Thanks to all of our teams for successfully packaging and coordinating this newscast. My name is Kay Lyndon Tobai, presenter. Good morning.